Good evening. Tonight in Las Vegas, Maurice Hope, who's held the WBC World Light Middleweight Championship for over 2 years, faces his toughest challenge to date. His opponent, Wilfredo Benitez, a Puerto Rican now based in New York. Benitez has already made boxing history. At the tender age of 17, he won the World Light Welterweight Championship, the youngest man ever to take a world boxing title. 2 years ago, he won the World Welterweight Championship, and now he moves up a weight again to try and win his third different world boxing title. Hope, born in Antigua, but who, of course, has spent most of his life in London, is making his fourth defence and his first abroad of the title he first won back in 1979 by stopping Rocky Mattioli in San Remo. Well, comments on the fight from former world middleweight champion Alan Minter, who won his world title in the very ring in which tonight's fight takes place. And waiting for us at ringside, Harry Carpenter.
And welcome to the Sports Pavilion at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. Outside, the temperature is hitting 90 degrees. Hereside in the air-conditioned Sports Pavilion, the time just before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the challenger, Wilfredo Benitez of Puerto Rico, makes his way first to the ringside. The man attempting today to win his third world title, and if he does it today, he'll be the first man since the great Henry Armstrong to do that, and that was more than 40 years ago. The Sports Pavilion absolutely packed with people who've left the gaming tables for once and come to the ringside. Benitez, still only 22 years old, born in the Bronx in New York, went back to Puerto Rico with his parents when he was about 7 years old, and now once again lives in New York and fights out of that city. Speaks very little English, mostly Spanish, but certainly one of the most impressive fighters that we've seen for many years. And now the hustle at the back of the Sports Pavilion means that the champion is on his way to the ring. Maurice Hope of London, making his fourth defence in 2 years as champion and having his first professional fight in the United States. Maurice Hope, born in Antigua, makes his way to the ring. Hope, 29 years old, the southpaw from Hackney, who hasn't lost a fight for 6 years. And Terry Lawless, leading him into the ring, says that he's never known Maurice ever to want to win a fight as much as he wants to win this one and to establish his name in the United States. Because here he is very little known, and he comes to the ring tonight as a 5-2 underdog. You can get $50 to $20 that Hope is going to be beaten here in Las Vegas. And there are a lot of English supporters here who've taken that bet, believe me. And there's some 70 or 80 supporters of Maurice Hope who've made the long flight from London, 6,000 miles, to come and support their man. And already they're chanting all around me because I'm sitting right underneath the corner, "Let's go, Mo." And Benitez comes over to give him the old and now rather boring eyeball-to-eyeball routine. And Maurice, who's as cool a man as you'll ever find, is saying something back to him. Benitez clearly trying to establish some sort of psychological ascendancy here. And Mo, who really never gets disturbed about anything, a little smile on the face and takes it all lightheartedly. Maurice has in fact fought in the United States, but as an amateur. He appeared in 1971 in Madison Square Garden when he was an amateur. Benitez, one of the things about Benitez that people don't like too much is that he's a difficult man to train. Maurice, of course, is never difficult to train, and he's worked hard out here. He's been here 2 weeks, and he's worked hard and long to get himself really thoroughly fit for this fight, which may well go the full 15 rounds. And Benitez is going to have another little go at him. And Mo smiling a rather toothless smile because he lost a tooth here a week ago. He had a tooth put back in, but he's taken it out for the fight. There's some 4,000 people in this extraordinary sports pavilion.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Caesars Palace Sports Pavilion, where this afternoon Don Jargon Productions Incorporated, in association with Caesars Palace, presents World Championship Boxing. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Sig Rogich, chairman. The officials assigned for the main event of the afternoon, the judges are Joe Swessel, Chuck Minker, and Dwayne Ford. The timekeeper is Charlie Roth. Counting at the knockdowns, Eddie O'Toole. The attending physicians at ringside, Dr. Donald Romeo and Dr. Flip Homansky. The referee for the main event of the afternoon, Richard Green.
And Richard Green, the referee, is the man who refereed the ill-fated Larry Holmes Muhammad Ali fight, the fight that finally pushed Ali out of the record books. Richard Green. Benitez looking almost superciliously across at Hope as the champion waits to get going. Nobody quite knows how Benitez will take this fight. He's fought 5 southpaws before, but he hasn't had a southpaw to work with him in training, which is strange. Said to be a man who adapts himself very much to his opponent and who doesn't sometimes bother himself too much in the early stages of the fight. Benitez has lost only one fight. He lost it in this ring to the great Sugar Ray Leonard when he lost his WBC welterweight championship. Hope, of course, has lost just 2 fights, so between them, they have got 2 very fine professional records. Benitez limbering up all the time, hasn't stopped moving and prowling around this ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the feature attraction of the afternoon. 15 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing, in the red corner, the challenger. Originally from San Juan, Puerto Rico, now fighting out of New York City, New York. He is the former junior welterweight and welterweight champion of the world. He is seeking his 3rd world title. He weighs 153 1/4 pounds. Introducing Wilfred Benitez. And in the blue corner, the champion. Originally from Antigua in the West Indies, he fights out of London, England. He is defending his title for the 4th time. He weighs 153 1/2 pounds. Here is Maurice Hope. 15 rounds of boxing.
Hope gets a really very fine reception in this American arena. Incidentally, Maurice's record is slightly inaccurate.
Who is your chief second?
He has, in fact,
Who is your
won
chief
30 fights, not 29.
Both of you guys are professional fighters. I want you to conduct yourself like professional fighters. In case of a knockdown, I want the one to score the knockdown and go to first neutral corner and remain there till I tell you to come out to fight. Up on bad tactics, I'm going to give you 3 warnings. Up on the 3rd one, I'm going to take points. Any questions to my left?
No.
Any questions to my right? No. I'm going to warn you seconds. You're responsible for your condition of your fighters in the ring. Good luck to both of you.
Oh, and a little spark of temper there. The kick flew at the end of the referee's announcement, and Maurice now is rattled.
Back in your corner, Benitez.
Now then, we shall see what effect that's had on the champion.
And the 2 of them now really
full of needles. So much of that is all kid stakes, but that was for real when those punches were exchanged before the bell. And that is pretty well unheard of.
Okay.
In any world title fight.
Hey. Hold it. Wait, I'm not going to have that. Okay?
Richard Green, the referee, is calming him down at once. I'm not having any of that. And this has started at a very angry level. Benitez not regarded as a hard hitter, although I heard Sugar Ray Leonard, the man who beat him, say last night that when he fought him, Benitez really did hurt him. Doesn't want Hope to hold around the back of the neck either. Hope, of course, can whack. He can take a punch, as he showed against Herrera, where he had one or two sticky moments in his last defense and came through them. Benitez firing long punches from out of range. Trying to get the right hand across early. Got it cocked high, ready to fire. And Hope jabs beautifully to the face with the right. And again. And Hope has started confidently enough and got his right jab working quickly.
Hope is the first British fighter to come to the United States and defend a world championship since Ken Buchanan. And Hope clearly has got to watch for the right counter from Benitez.
Okay, let's have it.
Hope's made a good start. Aggressive, accurate, and not in the slightest bit awed in his first professional fight in America. And another warning there for the same misdemeanor to Hope. And they haven't heard the bell. Or maybe they didn't want to hear it. And the crowd enjoyed that first round. And the corner above me, the Hope corner, looked pretty well satisfied with what happened there. Hope saw the right hands coming from Benitez. And he got his own right jab working early. And he stole the first round, in my opinion. But Benitez, known to be a highly competent, skillful, and according to Sugar Ray Leonard, who should know, a hurtful fighter. The time now, a few seconds past 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Las Vegas. Benitez slow to come off the street. Good punch from Benitez, straight in. Taking the right counters on the left arm, and again jabbing effectively to the head. And Hope seems to me to be bursting with confidence. Comes in downstairs and whips in underneath the heart of Hope. Benitez not too anxious to get out of that corner. weaving away, looking for the opening to the right. And this has made a very promising start indeed. It always looked like being a hard and possibly close fight on paper, and it is already beginning to look that way. Benitez, slightly reddened in the face. And Hope, for the second time in this round, gets his man trapped in a corner.
Watch your head again.
Watch your head for Hope. And Hope is determined to take the initiative. And that's a good thing, because American judges, and there are 3 of them sitting around the ringside, the referee doesn't score in Nevada. Those judges will be impressed by the aggression of Hope. Well, now, as you know, we've got Alan Minter, the former world middleweight champion, who knows this ring very well. It's where he won his world title. We've got him back in the studio in London. And I'd just like to ask you, Alan, how do those opening 2 rounds look to you from 6,000 miles away?
A hell of a fight, Harry. The beginning of the first round was a little bit scrappy. Both men weren't picking their punches. But the middle of the first round and this second round, Hope for me is winning the fight. You know, he's picking his punches better. Benitez is just laying back on the ropes and letting Hope come in. But I think you've got to fancy Hope up to this stage.
Would you agree with me that he's doing absolutely the right thing by taking it to Benitez?
At the moment, I think so, yeah. At the moment. But this is Benitez's style, is to let his man come, which we'll see how it goes when they start running out of steam a little bit.
Thank you, Alan. Who hasn't lost a fight for 6 years. Last man to beat him was Bunny Sterling. And on that occasion, Hope was fighting out of his weight as a middleweight. They've been betting 5-2 against Hope here in the gambling city of Las Vegas, and 3-1 on Benitez. Hope's made a fair start to upset those odds. See how quick Benitez is. You just wonder, though, whether he really is a light middleweight. He's moved up from welter because they say he can't make 10 stone 7 anymore. But is he really a fully fledged light middleweight? It's one of the most difficult things in boxing, to come up through weights and still be a champion as you go up the weights. And you only have to look in the record books and find out how few people have managed to win 3 world titles. Henry Armstrong did it. Britain's Bob Fitzsimmons did it. And the only other 2, Tony Canzonieri and Barney Ross, did it, but in both cases, one of their titles was a junior championship, which in those days, back in the 30s, wasn't really regarded as official. Hope still carrying it to Benitez. He doesn't seem to mind being trapped in corners or on the ropes. Chance of Super Mo coming up from the British contingent. Hope sweating freely.
Okay, get out of it.
Benitez throwing punches wide and out of range. Well, that's 3 useful rounds that Hope has got under his belt, in my opinion. And Terry Lawless, leaning over him, I would imagine will be well satisfied with the way his man has started this fight. It really is a remarkable story of Hope because, as you know, he had an operation for a detached retina of the right eye, and that's only 16 months ago. He was out of the ring for 6 months, and then he came back and defended his title without any sort of warm-up against Rocky Mattioli, and won impressively. And it's part of Maurice's character that he can take setbacks like that and live through them and come again. And that tells you something very much about the qualities of the man deep down. There's a little bit of the action from that last round, that sneak right hand. He's very quick to see the chance, Benitez, and that's the one Hope has got to guard against.
Seconds out.
Top-line fighter since his days as an amateur. He represented Great Britain in the Munich Olympics in 1972. 29 years old now. And absolutely at his peak and in his prime. And reputed tonight to be getting a record purse for this particular weight division. Benitez's purse is said to be $200,000, considerably less than Hope's. Once again, the challenger in the corner.
Okay.
And Maurice is roughing him up around the face. Benitez licks his lips, blinks. If he hasn't done his training properly, Benitez, he'll be in trouble. And there are always doubts about the way Benitez trains. That's a good right from Benitez. But Hope forces his way forward, strong and eager. He never looks very stylish. In fact, at times Mo looks positively ungainly, but he's effective. And the Hope corner are crying out now that Benitez is cut. And I'm looking to see where it is, and I can't quite see it. Might be the right eye. Yes, he is. He's cut right at the side of the right eye. Benitez, the challenger. And that is a considerable victory already for Hope. And that will do nothing at all for the Puerto Rican's confidence. And if there are any doubts in his mind, then certainly Hope has planted a few more. For 4 rounds now, Hope has been the master. And we know Mo can go 15 rounds strongly. And Hope is really picking up points all over the place on Benitez, who seems now to be moving less and less around this ring and looks tired and a little bit discouraged. And he's having a word with the referees, complaining about something, possibly complaining that the damage to the eye wasn't done with a punch. I don't know, because frankly I didn't see it done. But certainly he is cut there at the side of the right eye, just under the eyebrow. Not too dangerous and not big. But the Lawless camp, the Hope camp, looking across at that, will have gained immense confidence. And Benitez looks to me anything but confident at the moment. And Hope is clearly now well ahead as we come to the 5th.
Seconds out. Seconds out. Seconds out.
The last words to Mo from Terry Lawless, and no missing. Got a lot of his family around him here, Hope. His wife has been with him all the time, Pat. His father is out here. He's got 5 brothers out here and a number of nephews. They're a big family, and they've all turned up to support him. And what they're seeing at the moment will please them.
Okay, let's have it. Let's have it. Watch the elbow now.
Watch the elbow to Hope. The amount of grease that's been daubed at the side of Benitez's face wouldn't be allowed in Britain. Harry Gibbs would have that wiped off. Doesn't seem to worry Richard Green. Well, in this country, you certainly, if you're going to take a man's title from him, you have to come and get it. And so far, Benitez has shown no signs of wanting to come forward and take it. He's relying on counter punches, and he's not getting too far with it at the moment. That's not underrated. Hate to tempt fate by saying these things, but Maurice Hope has hardly put foot or hand wrong so far. Lawless yells to the referee that Benitez is holding. Almost anything goes in this country. Super Mo is the chant. And he looks it. Lawless is getting very angry about Benitez holding. A little bit more like what Benitez has got to do if he wants to win. He's got to come forward. Very late in the round. That round not quite so dominant for Hope. That's a purely personal opinion. Be nice to have a second opinion, so let's call up Alan Minter in London once again. But Alan, he's still well ahead, isn't he?
I've not given Benitez a round yet. Benitez come back in this last round and caught Maurice Hope with the right hand on the chin, but other than that, that's the only best punch he's thrown. He keeps throwing punches to the body, trying to hurt Maurice, but Maurice is just taking his time, letting the punches come, throwing his own jabs, throwing his own crosses, mixing the punches up. And honestly, Harry, Benitez at this moment hasn't got an answer for him. We've just seen Benitez at the end of this round put a few good punches together. Maybe he'll come later, but at this present time, Maurice is absolutely dominating the fight.
Terry Lawless, Alan's getting very excited about Benitez holding. Do you think the challenger is doing a lot of holding?
I don't think he's doing a lot of holding. No, he's working inside, and they come into the clinches. But it's a good, clean fight up to now.
The 6th. The super welterweight or light middle, whichever you prefer. Limit is 11 stone. And they came in just under that. Benitez 3/4 of a pound under it, and Hope 1/2 pound under it. So nothing between them in weight, just 4 ounces. Benitez, of course, when he started out, used to be known as Wilfredo Benitez, which is in fact his real first name. But because he now does all his fighting in the States, he's anglicised it and dropped the O off, and everybody here now calls him Wilfred. jab has always been a potent factor in this. He's never missed the opportunity to keep peppering away into the face of Benitez. The injured face of the challenger. Remember, he's got a cut at the side of his right eye, but it's been well dealt with by the corner and it's not bleeding. And Mo's almost slipped through, in fact has slipped through the between the middle and top ropes.
Okay, let's have it. Let's have it. Quit holding. Quit holding.
This is a very big ring in the Sports Pavilion in Las Vegas. It's full size. It's certainly all of 20 feet. And Benitez is certainly now doing much more forcing. His father in the corner must have told him to do that because he was getting nowhere hanging back and trying to counter. Good right. Good right from Benitez. Best one he's thrown yet, and it caught Maurice Hope on the temple. And this looks like being a tough little period for Hope. And he picks up another one, and several more, and he's a bit hurt. And Benitez sees his chance and lets it all go. And Hope now has got to try and weather this, and he has. And he's come out of that well. He got off the ropes. And suddenly, Las Vegas gets very excited indeed as the favourite begins to get on top in the sixth. And this looks like being the first round he's won. There's the bell. And perhaps it was just as well for Hope that Benitez started that all-out attack as late in the round as he did. When it came, it was effective, and it was very, very dangerous indeed. So Hope now has to pull things together again. He's still out in front on points, but of the two now, he's the more hurt. Nothing that Maurice had done in those previous 5 rounds had hurt Benitez as much as Benitez hurt him with that one savage, two-fisted attack. And that is the sign that Benitez is a good fighter. Already won 2 world titles, and with this sort of form is threatening to win the 3rd. 2 hands going in all the time, and Mo did well to cover up and finally to get away from those ropes where he was suffering.
Seconds out. Seconds out.
Right. Back live. So suddenly, the first dramatic swing. And Benitez is going to try and cash in on it.
Hold.
Now he's asked for time off, and he's taken Benitez back for... They still got the ice bag rammed down his trunks. He came out with the ice bag still rammed down his trunks in his stomach. And Hope is picking up too many punches. Needs to keep his hands up. He's still anxious to attack, but he's walking into trouble. Lawless shots above me. He's tiring Mo. I only hope he's right. And Benitez looks rather insolently cool on the ropes and smiles at Hope, and for the first time looks happy. And Hope is picking up altogether too many punches. 7th round. He needs to stand off a bit, take his time and work his way back into this. Mouth's Hope is bleeding. Hope's mouth is bleeding. Maurice. And the British holder of the title now is going through a very rough passage. But he went through some rough passages against Carlos Herrera in his last defence, and he came through that. And full marks for Hope. He's still trying to come in and carry it to Benitez. He won't let him alone. And we might come down in the end to a battle of determination. Who's prepared to stick it the longer? And Benitez puts it all in again, as he usually does, as the bell comes up. Bleeding from the mouth, and is hurt, and is brave, and walks back slowly and reflectively to the corner. Alan Minton, he's having a rough passage here, isn't he?
A rough time at the moment, Harry. The last two rounds, this round and the one before, yeah, I think he was hurt a little bit, but this last round, for instance, I don't know why Maurice keeps going forward, throwing punches. I think what he should do in this round is to back off from Benitez and just stick behind the jab until he regains his senses. Then do that for a round at least, and in the following round by all means go in and have a fight. But what he's doing now, he's playing right into Benitez's hands. He's going forward, he's chasing Benitez on the rope, and he's taking punishment.
I think really it's entirely a question of the pride of Maurice Hope. He doesn't want to back off, and he wants to be a good champion. He wants to show America that he can be one.
That's right.
Well, we'll see whether it will work.
Okay, let's have it. Come on.
We know that Hope has great reserves of courage and strength, and he's needing them at the moment. Benitez is letting the punches come very, very freely and sharply. Benitez now is just getting that little cocky edge to him. Much to say, I know what I've got to do now, chum. And I'm going to do it. Well, we'll see. Remember, this man is fighting for a place in boxing history. He's trying to win his third world title, all at different weights. And that is the hallmark of a great champion, if that is achieved. British supporters setting up another chant to encourage their man. Mo still coming forward, not taking too many. Benitez backing off a little now. Himself taking a breather. Hard fight. It's been all action from the word go. Almost never a clinch. Bruising battle this is. Standing in there, close toe-to-toe. And both registering pretty hard punches on each other. But the sharper effect has come from Benitez. Hope jabbing well again. Picking up one or two, ignoring them and coming in again, boring in. Good right. from Benitez. Just one out of that cluster. Well, that was a little better for Hope. Much more even round. And looking down my scorecard now, I find that I gave Mo the first 4 rounds, 5th even, 6th and 7th to Benitez, and the last one even. So, at the moment, I have got Maurice Hope 2 clear rounds in front. But I think it's going to come down to sheer willpower in the end. The ability to stick in there when the going is toughest. Hope can certainly do that. I wonder if Benitez can. Picked up 1 or 2 good punches off Mo's face there, as you can see. But Hope is still in there, and he's still coming in. And on my reckoning, he's still got a lead. And we're over halfway through.
When the 10-second bell ring, I'll let you get out the ring, time, sir.
7 to go. Pulling out his whole repertoire of punches here. Jabs, hooks, uppercuts, everything. And Hope, dare one say it, seems to have come through that very, very sticky patch and is beginning now to revert to the type of boxing and scoring that he showed in the first 4. Benitez flashily says, come on into me. Benitez shaping up southpaw himself now against the southpaw. I don't quite understand the tactics, waiting in the corner. Very much Muhammad Ali type of tactics. There's a big swelling coming up at the side of Benitez's face, where he was cut earlier. Just below that now, on the right side of the face, there's quite a big swelling beginning to appear. So the marks of battle are over the pair of them. And his mouth is sore. When he opens his mouth, you can see the red stain against the white of the gumshoe. Benitez now hasn't moved out of that corner for a whole minute. Taking a rest, I think, against the ring post. Weird tactics. Looks as though he's sacrificing the round to take a breather. And Benitez changes his feet and goes back to orthodox. Having taken the breather, comes up for his usual last half-minute all-out effort. And he's cut on the other side as well now, Benitez. He's got a slight cut at the left side of his face. Very slight, but it's there. That was a good round for Hope. And Benitez, at long last, gives a sort of placatory pat to Hope as he goes back to the corner. All the aggression and anger of the start has been whacked out on him. This was the attack of Benitez after that long, long rest against the ring post. But it wasn't enough to wipe out the work Hope had done earlier. So, in my opinion, that puts Hope a little further ahead. Well, this fight is really proving to be the sort of fight we thought it would be. hard, and in the end it could well be very close indeed. But Hope is keeping on top, despite the 2 very bad rounds he had.
Second out. Come on, he's got nothing there at all.
I don't know if you can hear Lawless as well as I can. Terry is telling him as he comes out for the 10th, come on, Mo, he's got nothing left at all. Boxing these days is as much a matter of psychology as physical effort. And there's still a smear of blood running down the left-hand side of Benitez's face. In all, Hope has had 5 world title fights before this, and he hasn't lost one yet. He had 1 draw in his earlier days that was not considered to be a draw by most people in Germany against Dagger. His title record is outstanding. Counting European, British and Commonwealth fights, he's taken part in 12 major title fights before this, and lost just that one to Bunny Sterling at middleweight. It's a great record. Hope turns him easily. Fight is not decided yet by a long way. And you wouldn't bet at this stage, I suspect, which way it might turn. Too badly hurt, half off balance and half caught. And he looks down at Lawless, and the bell has come. And that's a good moment for Hope, that bell there. My word, he was lucky. And Benitez scores with 1 right hand right at the end of the round, and we shall see it again now. Looked to me as though, although it was a good punch, Hope was taken off balance as he was trying to move backwards, but nonetheless the punch was driven through to the jaw of Hope, and he toppled over. But I don't think he's too badly hurt. And look at the smile on Benitez's face as he walked away. Hope beginning to look obviously weary. This is the mother of Benitez. Wilfred, just one of 8 children. 3 brothers are also well, dangerous moments for Maurice Hope again now.
Back in the corner, tell a bell ring.
Mouth open, beginning to look very puffy around the eyes. Now then, Hope's reserves are being stretched to the full at this moment, with 5 rounds to go, and Benitez's right hand proving at the moment to be a very, very dangerous weapon. Now, if he drives that through once more and catches Hope, this title might well change hands before the end. On the scorecard, I've still got Hope in front, but he looks the weaker of the 2 now. needs to get his feet working and his right jab working very, very badly. He needs again now to establish that ascendancy he had very clearly in the first four, and which has been so hard to establish again since the 6th and 7th, which were bad rounds for him. Patrons in the sports pavilion are getting their money's worth in this fight. It's a good fight. They're paying from $15 right at the back of the hall up to $100 for a ringside seat, which is nothing in Las Vegas because people here drop $100 into a slot machine and think nothing of it. Good left from Hope. And this crowd buzzes with surprise to find Hope in the 11th with sufficient strength and nous to bring that one out of the book.
Okay.
Here comes the challenger again with the usual big effort. He seems to have a built-in clock in his head. He knows exactly when the last 30 seconds are there. Maybe somebody's yelling it to him. But he always comes strongly at the finish to try to catch the judge's eye. Well, that was a fairly indeterminate round. I'm going to put Alan Minter a little bit on the spot here, but I know he's capable of dealing with it. I personally wouldn't like to answer the question at this moment, Alan, but who do you think might come out on top now?
Well, the thing is, Harry, every time Benitez looks a little bit tired and Maurice is coming on strong, then Benitez starts coming back and starts bumming him in big right hands and catching Maurice. So I think, but the thing is, then Maurice starts coming back, so Maurice could either break him because Benitez is hitting him with his best shots and Maurice is still coming back, or one of Benitez's right hands will end the fight, I think. But the way Maurice is boxing at the moment, I've never seen a guy with so much determination and guts to retain the title. You know, he's boxing absolutely brilliant. He's doing everything that's being asked of him. So you have put me in a spot I wouldn't really like to say, you know.
Well, I'd agree, and so would everybody here in the Sports Pavilion at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, that Hope is showing all the courage in the world and defending his title like a true champion. No doubt about that. The 12th. And Hope now really does, I think, need to come through these last few rounds with a bit of good boxing. Keep the jab going. Pepper away at Benitez's face. Try not to let him get set to throw the right hand. That's all very well to suggest that from down where I'm sitting. It's a vastly different thing to have to do when you're up there and you've already been 11 hard rounds. And we've got a good man in front. Two good men. I would say at this moment that the main difference between them seems to me that Benitez is capable of mounting sudden and very dramatic and effective attacks, and Maurice doesn't quite seem to be able to do that. He's plodding away very gamely, but I'm not sure that he has too many surprises left for Benitez. Oh, that's it. Right hand. And I think that is that. Oh, what a whipping right hand that was. And Maurice is not going to beat it. He's out to the wide, I'm afraid. And Benitez has won his 3rd World Championship, and Hope is a very stricken man. That was a fantastic finishing punch from Benitez, who is cheered by his family and friends, and he has done a dramatically effective job in the 12th round with one right hand. The right hand that had threatened all the way through finally paid off, and he's made history. Here it is again. It was an absolute explosion of a punch, whipped across absolutely to the side of Maurice's jaw, and he was out as he hit the canvas, and he's still there being tended to. There it is again. It's almost too painful to watch in replay. So Maurice Hope's reign as the world light middleweight champion has come to an end in his 4th defense, and Wilfred Benitez at 22, amazingly, has won his 3rd world title, all 3 at different weights. He's the first man to do that for over 40 years, the first man since the great, the super hammering Henry Armstrong. This is a remarkable day in boxing's history in the Sports Pavilion here at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. We've seen history made, but I'm afraid it's been made at some considerable cost to the well-being of Maurice Hope, the 29-year-old ex-champion now, who was out to the wide, I'm afraid, and is still being tended to. But that was, in the end, an immaculate performance by Benitez, who came through some rough early rounds when he couldn't get into the fight. But when he did it with force and effect, and literally stunning results. Here's the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 1 minute 56 seconds of the 12th round. The winner and new junior middleweight champion of the world, Wilfred Benitez.
So while we register our congratulations on a great, to a great champion, Wilfred Benitez of Puerto Rico, at the same time we must express our utmost concern for the well-being of Britain's Maurice Hope, who is still in the same spot where he was put down, but he's conscious.
Yes, worrying scenes there as Maurice Hope suffers the first ever knockout of his professional career. The fight actually finished live some 40 minutes or so ago. The live caption you saw there was meant for viewers in America. Maurice was actually on the canvas for something like 7 minutes or so, but happily these were the scenes afterwards. He was up on his feet, being toweled down there, and was talking and able to walk back to his dressing room. His manager, Terry Lawless, there, looking still anxious behind him. So Maurice, all right. Well, meantime, Harry Carpenter went to the dressing room to check on Maurice's condition.
Well, I've just come back from Maurice Hope's dressing room. I haven't been able to have a word with him because clearly they don't want him to speak to anybody for the moment. He's resting, but I was told by Ray Clark, the General Secretary of the British Boxing Board, that Maurice is perfectly all right medically. He's come round, he knows exactly where he is, but he is suffering from feelings of total shame, amazingly enough, because he feels he's blown it in the United States. Well, I think we could all assure him, when we do talk to him, that he certainly need feel no shame for what he did here today. He defended his title to the very end. He looked at one time as though he was going to win the fight, but in the end, the Benitez right hand, as we've seen, was just too much for him. But the good news is, I'm assured that Hope is perfectly all right.